Now I would like to take you through the CRM functionality of VIENNA Advantage. Basically, CRM is very tightly integrated within the ERP system, so there is no clear separation. So it's rather that two systems or both these functions merge in each other and extend each other with features. There are certainly core features of CRM which are available in VIENNA Advantage, whether it is the sales management, including lead tracking opportunities, your sales pipeline, but then also there are other areas which of course are common and overlap within ERP, like contact management, managing your contracts, and maybe requests, etc. So there are various things that basically are available in VIENNA Advantage in terms of which can be grouped under the CRM terminology. Now here in the front page, of course, you can see already a few things which are relevant for, let's say, a CRM functionality. Of course, workflow is something that you would always have also in a CRM system, whether you would like to take certain activities through a workflow, or you would like to take certain things through an approval. Notifications also generated by the system are important also as a CRM functionality. Then we have request management, which is the typical case management or ticketing system, which we also have as part of the home page, which is shown here with whatever is relevant for the employee to see. And then of course he can see his request inbox and react and zoom from here to the particular request. So we'll come to that in a short while as well. Then we have a calendar functionality within the CRM system. So these calendars basically are like Outlook calendars, let's say, where you can plan your day. A benefit also is that the appointments that you set here are linked with the customer's record or the records of any, let's say, orders, projects, etc. And you also have the possibility to have shared calendars, so you can load contacts and then also view their calendars if they have shared their calendars with you. And of course set your appointment. So you can use this calendar, of course, like a full calendar without any kind of Exchange server or anything behind that. And the advantage is you can also sync it with a Google account, so that it can be synchronized with your Google, with your telephone, etc. Even on an Apple phone you can synchronize Google Calendar. So that's of course an additional benefit, and the appointments are linked of course with the data records inside the system. Equally, you can plan tasks, and here also you see that here's a task, for example, that I have planned for myself, but here there's a linkage to a business partner called Max Limited. So remind the customer to send the order confirmation, and from here I could also zoom to that business partner which we are talking about over here. So you see it goes there. Then of course we have the option to assign tasks to others, so that's also relevant, since you would like to track the tasks that you assign to other people and would like to track what is the current status of that. And here also it can be zoomed directly from here to the task. You can keep some important notes, and last but not least we also have some dashboards, KPIs, that you can right away place on your KPI panel here, so that you can track like quick numbers right away from here. An important part of a CRM system is to being updated or being always up to date with the latest information on your accounts. And here certainly we have something which allows us to always be alerted about something happening on your accounts that you're dealing with. For example, you could subscribe to certain customers, certain accounts, so there's a possibility to subscribe. And whenever there's any kind of comment or any kind of note which is posted on that account or on that record, and that could be really not just a customer, but could be a purchase order, sales order, a contract, etc. Automatically all this information is displayed to you on your home page, and you could even reply directly from here to whatever has happened, or zoom from here to that record to follow up. So that's of course something which is relevant for you in a CRM system, to be always in touch, always up to date, and get a guidance of course from the system also to what's the next step on certain activities. Apart from the calendar, also we have a contact management, of course, which is part of the CRM, and that's a very central instrument, I would say, because you would like to search quickly within your contacts, and you would like to, of course, know everything about them. So we have a kind of detailed view or a 360-degree view about your contacts. You can find them here. You can filter them based on contexts such as supplier context, customer context, prospects as well. And for example, let me select here all. So in this case, all are loaded. You could add nice images. So for example, if I have a customer here, I can simply upload an image here. The address can be also placed, and it would open the address if you click on that in a Google Maps. So if you are on a tablet, let's say, and you would like to navigate maybe using that tablet somewhere, so that's something that you can do. Additionally, on details, we have like we can zoom from here to the details of the contact, which means that will be the business partner where it would go. We can send from here directly an email. We can send an SMS and create an activity, a task for us, for example, or set an appointment. But also we can check the business partner's history, so that's very interesting. So there is a window which opens in that case where automatically that business partner which we have selected is there, and we can view whatever has happened so far in terms of business transactions. So I see, for example, here are the orders related to that. We see that 2 of the orders are completed, 3 are in the drafted mode. We can see their shipments, we can see the invoices which have been created so far and sent, and the payments, etc. So you have a very quick view about on the transactions related to that particular contact or customer. And if you need to create an order, so from here directly you can zoom and create the order. So let me just do that as well. And the system takes you to the order window, whereas the information which is related to that customer is automatically filled, all the contractual information related to the price list, payment terms, etc. So everything is pretty much in place, and I could use this to create a standard order, or even, let's say, if I would like to create maybe a proposal, which is also a type of order, I can do it within this window itself. Now last but not least, we have also integrated the calling facilities, outbound call and inbound calls as well in this. That's a separate module which I haven't installed here. We have integrated with the telephony systems with a company called Twideo, which is one of the largest players in this market on telephony. And so we can also make outbound calls and inbound calls, and of course everything that you do on the system, including calls, sending emails, etc., is tracked inside the history, so you can always view what has been done so far, so you have a quick glance over the customer, not only on the conversations but actually also on the transactions which have happened. Then you have a nice search, so it will search overall throughout a lot of fields in the customer's contacts or even in the business partner. And if I would like to search for a certain location, because I'm traveling to a city and I would like to know all my customers within that location or that state or zip code, etc., so I can perform a search and get the list of those people which are actually within that location. So that's of course a wonderful and a central tool of the CRM system for us. And let's get to the menu and have a look at what are the other features that are related to CRM. So first of all, we have the Business Partner Center. So as I showed you, the contact management is one central part of it, but then we have also a customer master window where of course in detail you can see all the customers' information. So here is a list of customers. If I select the first one in this case, I see the open balance, I see what is the credit used so far, what is the tax ID, and of course the fields here are variable, which means based on your needs you can modify the fields which are required for your company. Since of course both systems, CRM and ERP, are merged in a single one, so you would see also fields which are related to ERP. Here for example, credit status is okay, and I can set, I would like to have warning, in what cases I would like to have warning, so I can do that. I can set a credit limit as well. I can appoint a certain partner manager or let's say a customer manager, account manager to this account, and I see certain other figures, what is the lifetime value and industry code and so on. So all that of course can be customized as per your needs. We can have one or multiple locations with a single customer. We can see one or multiple contact details with that customer. We can save his bank account, and there are various other details also that you can save. Interesting of course is, for example, if I'm at the customer or if I'm at the contact and I would like to schedule an appointment with Mr. Rope Stock. In that case, I simply go here on the left side, I have a panel, I can schedule an appointment. I would see that appointment in my calendar. At the same time it will be linked with Mr. Rope Stock, so that there's always a cross-reference to the customer. And if I want to see the customer's complete history, that would also include the history, whatever has been saved along with the contacts as well. So of course a very nice possibility over here. Then we are also able to define representatives, sales representatives related to and can be linked to those customers, so they are responsible, and we can always track what are the orders, what are the order lines, invoices generated with these sales representatives which are linked to certain customers. Then we also have as an additional thing, of course, the terms and conditions that you can set up for your with your business partners, and we also have SLA, service level agreements. Now, service level agreements can be defined and linked with for example, customers or suppliers as well, so both ways, and even employees. So basically, if I would like to track the payment on time. Okay, so you could set up certain goals, and you can also customize these things. In this case, it is done that I would like to get some information through a certain class which has been linked, where I can set goals based on that business partner. So there can be various components to these goals and the measurement. So once I define the criteria, I can link the criteria to each partner and can do my performance analysis based on any actually thing, any figures inside the system that you would like to do, whether there's a calculation behind it or not. So that's possible as well. Another central element, of course, is the sales management. So let's go into this. Is the core basically of a CRM system, where you have a lead, you are managing your leads, and then you generate opportunities, etc. So here is our lead database, let's say, where we can set, of course, different fields. So in this case, we have set some default fields like source of the lead, what's the name of the lead, what's the lead rating, the budget, status. But of course you can have your own fields related to that, and campaigns also, for example. That's very cool, because if you import, for example, your leads directly from your website, and we have the option to do that, since we can directly link with your website to bring your leads into your website from your contact us form, etc. And if they are coming from a landing page, let's say you have run a Google campaign or a Facebook campaign, and you saved some information in a cookie, and that can be basically linked with the campaign, so that automatically the campaign can be selected, and this campaign is taken forward till the final order. So which means you run from a lead, you go to an opportunity or a prospect, and then it converts into an order. And you would like to basically track the campaign, because campaign is certainly a part of our CRM system, or let's say a part of our marketing system, where we can also manage campaigns in the system and see actually also the success of campaigns. Additionally, we have contact details that we can save along with the lead, and we have prospect and the company information, location, etc. All this information can be used, of course, then later on to generate opportunities, or generate also accounts or prospects from here. Here are some interesting things, of course, because we can link the leads to target lists or also to interest areas. So that's relevant, of course, in case you would like to, let's say, use these target lists or interest areas to assign them to certain campaigns. So that helps you somehow to segment your leads, but also your prospects. So this functionality is available on all the windows that we have. Interesting, of course, you can run or link your leads with the workflow. For example, if this is a sales region A, then the sales representative should be automatically assigned based on the sales region, based on the source, etc., etc. So all that stuff you can configure actually without any coding. And if you would like to, let's say, send a welcome email in the beginning, so you can do that. There's a mail merge functionality here, which opens basically a window where you can write an email. And interesting, of course, you can enable dynamic content, which is relevant for mail merge. So in this case, for example, I would like to use the name, for example. Then I can select dear name. Okay, we are happy that you contacted us, and so forth. So I could have a preview of that. So you see dear Grace, so that would be the final output as an email. And if I create, let's say, a kind of intro email or a format, I could save that intro format and also use it again and again. So next time I don't need to create this format again. I just can open this one, and next time it will be there, and I can send it from here. So if there's an email ID mentioned in the lead, automatically that will be selected, so I don't need to enter anything in that case. And of course, any of the field on that lead window can be used to define your content, and it will be dynamic, of course. And whatever mails I send, of course, these emails will be saved in the history records, so that of course all the conversations remain here, and when we generate from the lead a prospect or an opportunity or a customer, then automatically all that history is copied as well. Of course, very nice also, we can define card views based on priorities. We can also define like a Kanban view based on which we can actually also have a different view. So we can do that quickly. I can say based on status, and okay, I can group by, let's say here, status, this is the one, and I would like to just see the name, and I would like to see the source of that lead, and then I would like to assign it to the following roles. So let's say I assign it to these 3-4 roles, and I don't need to have any background color. I could do that, of course, but I don't need that in this case. Yeah, so I have now created a card view, so let me switch to the card view. So here I see, for example, very nicely that I have many in the new, still a lot of are new, and if I would like to move from here to this side, I can just move them from here to one, so I can see always based on the current status what is the current situation with my leads, and I can see them very nicely also in the card view, so that I don't need to go through the data, and it is pretty obvious in front of you in that case. Right, so here of course you see there are options like generate prospect, generate opportunity, also, which I can see right from here and execute. Yeah, this is the lead. Of course, after the lead, the system will be able to generate opportunities, or you can generate opportunities from the leads. And opportunity is a stage where you start evaluating what is the money behind it, what is the total amount that you expect in terms of opportunities. So you do an evaluation of a potential customer or of a potential deal in that case. So you could actually assign real items, and you could assign a target price. So what is the planned price that you plan, and what is the planned quantity that you plan to sell. And this of course builds your pipeline, so you can always also mention what is the probability that you think you're going to close it with. And if you link a quotation or generate a quotation or an order from an opportunity, there's a backlinking here so that it can be tracked. What is the total business that you have generated from your pipeline in that case. Yeah, then of course we have sales quotation prospects, so all that goes further into quotations and then getting the order. Interesting also is that we have like forecasts. This forecast of course can be created based on team wise, so and then it can be let's say aggregated to a master forecast. So we have two types of forecasts. Let's say if you have different teams in your organization and you would like to generate a forecast for a certain period, each team can input their forecast, and then it can be merged into the master forecast. And this of course can be posted also as a budget or as a planned figure into your accounting if you want. And then you could automatically include the opportunities. So when you do so, process this, then automatically also the opportunities can be drawn in. Or if you want to leave them out because they are already considered in your forecast, then of course you can leave them out. Otherwise the system can automatically also consider your opportunities and add them into your forecast. So that can be run of course against your actuals that you run. Then of course plenty of sales reports, but of course we have a BI system, so you will be able to see a lot of nice reports over there as well. So let me also have a quick look on the BI system. So let me go into it. And here is the VIENNA Advantage BI system. So very typical, that's one of the customer dashboards that we have in standard, where you can see some detailed information or basic information about the customer. You see also other things like customers profitability analysis, how many invoices, how much money this customer has spent, how much it was the cost was for me. Of course this information will come from the ERP somewhere or the accounting somewhere. If you have the product cost inside the system, then you see the profitability as well. You see other things like when was the last order, what is outstanding, what is the credit limit, what are the average days outstanding with this customer if you have multiple invoices, for example, how many are open orders, how much is not invoiced, and how many requests do you have currently which are open with you, and what are the codes which are open. You see the contact details of multiple contacts. You see any notes created on this customer. You see a scoring. The system has a capability to rank the customer overall for you compared with your overall customers. You can see also average purchase days, after how many days does this customer purchase usually, appointment history, task history, service contracts if there are any. Of course you can zoom into any of these figures or these transactions to see more details about that, sales orders, customer shipments, etc. So you see a complete view, of course, here also on the dashboard. And of course we have, in terms of sales performance analysis, various charts that you can use in the BI system based on the data that is there in the system, and yeah, have a detailed view in terms of customers, reporting, etc. By the way, this is a real BI system which is embedded inside VIENNA Advantage, and yeah, so that's something, of course, you'll be getting. It's one of the top-rated BI systems, of course, worldwide, which is part of the VIENNA Advantage CRM system that we deliver. So it's very nice features, and also it has collaboration features. You know, for example, if you want to comment, you want to see some activity, you want to collaborate with other people on figures, on numbers, etc. So you can do that. Alright, let's get back to the core. Then apart from this, we also have commission management. So you can define commissions, commission structures, of course, and then run your commissions periodically. For example, if you have like a definition for a certain employee that this is going to be the employee who I'm going to pay the commission, that will be the frequency. Of course, you can define multiple frequencies yourself, and then you can have a calculation basis, which could be the order itself, it could be the invoice, or the money you actually have received. So based on receipt, and the system can automatically generate the commission then in the periods which you can schedule, of course, or run monthly or in the frequencies that you would like to have. We have certain setup things that you can run or do related to industry codes, qualifications, etc. So you define your own masters over here. Then let's move ahead with the next component of the CRM, which is the request management. So here we can create requests. If, for example, a customer who is contacting you for a service, for maybe a complaint, or maybe he wants to give you feedback, or he needs some follow-up on certain activities, so you can have those things in your system. And these things can automatically also come maybe from your website. So for example, if you have a complaint form, and then someone fills that form as a customer, and then automatically the system, you get it inside the system. And also this one can be linked with your workflow, for example, which means you could, for example, link that certain type of request. So based on the category, based on the group, certain people will be involved, and it will automatically go to a certain representative or a certain role. What is the type of request? Is it a confidential, or is it a public request maybe that you would like to publish this in a knowledge base maybe? And then you can define your status, what type of status. You can define these status yourself. Priority, user priority, so it could be also different, that your user priority given by the user is high, but you feel that it might be medium, or vice versa. Also you can have requests which might be executed but are invoiced, are not part of your contract. So you can refer to the contract, or you can also invoice a contract request, because here you can not only record your response, your activity, what you have done, like I have contacted the customer, or I have sent the material, or whatever was the thing, you could write it. The advantage is basically that any update over here will also inform all the participants, all the stakeholders related to this request automatically. So there could be an email generated by the system sharing the status of this request with the request number in the title. So if someone replies to that request even over the email, it would automatically come back and get this information attached into the original request. And you could use products which could be like a consultant's hour, or maybe a spare part into it, and then of course, as I said, invoice that as well. Yeah, so there are various references, and requests can be created related to pretty much everything in the system. So because it's a functionality which is available on all windows, so that from any record you can create requests inside the system, and all the updates of these requests are saved here. So there can be multiple updates. If, for example, the request has gone through 3 or 4 steps of resolution to 3 or 4 roles or people, then of course all the updates are saved, and you can set the date for the next action, and of course then follow up, and the system will alert you when there's a follow-up due. So everyone has this request inbox in his system, and we'll be able to see what are the next requests. So I can see the priority, I can see when I received it, it is related to whom was the message for that, what is the type of this request. So some common information is right away shown to you, and you can use that. And of course there's a reporting, it can be automatic escalations and things like that. So even internally, if you have multiple steps, you don't want to publicize every step, you can keep some steps that you resolve also confidential internally for you. Now this is another part, of course, which is relevant for your CRM. Then we also have something interesting which is related to the marketing. So we can run also marketing campaigns inside the system, but I think that that's something which I'll cover in a separate short video, but just to let you know that this is also available. Another interesting thing is also the business partner segmentation. So we have an automatic segmentation tool which allows us to segment customers into different segments and add them automatically to interest areas or target lists of campaigns, where based on products they buy, based on where they buy, what they bought, at what time they bought, whether they bought at a certain discount or the full price, or they bought I don't know, or they bought with a certain payment method, etc. So all these things can be used in the end actually to segment the customers, and in the end you would have a list of those customers which fall under that criteria, which of course I will also cover in detail under the marketing management video. Additionally, also we can, for example, manage contracts. For example, we have service contracts with the respective customers, so we can manage those, or blanket orders. These things are covered in the order management part. But interesting could be maybe the price list and the discount schemas, since with your customer relationship you would have certain pricing schemas or even certain discounts linked. VIENNA Advantage has the capability to define these prices, but also, let's say, gives you a very powerful tool to define these prices with maybe conditions, with certain discount schemas, etc. So we have tools that we can use to define these things, and where you could have discount breaks, or you could have flat discounts, etc., etc. So you can link these, of course, settings with your customers to set these things up. Just want to also have a look at the sales region, because here in terms of sales region we can also define different sales region in a hierarchy, and here have certain people responsible for a sales region. So it can be up to n levels of hierarchy, let's say a national sales manager, a regional sales manager, etc. So, and define then of course sales representative which is responsible for that region in general, so that even the workflows can be supported by this. Yeah, so that's a quick glance into the CRM. One thing before I forget, of course, the document management system is part of the CRM as well, which means you can upload documents into the system, link those documents with records inside, like your original contract, or if you want to upload product brochures and send the product brochures directly from here to your customers, etc. So you can use, of course, documents, whether they are scanned documents in terms of contracts, or even actually your templates or brochures, etc. presentations. So all that can be sent also directly from the document management system, which also is part of the CRM. One thing that's very important that I would like to mention, of course, is that now these days there are every day some new tools in the market related to CRM. So whenever you select for a CRM system, it shouldn't be a closed system in itself, but rather it should be an open system which can integrate with other tools. So here VIENNA Advantage has an integration layer, basically, which is based on web services, generic web services, which allow you to integrate with external systems. So it's not only possible to integrate VIENNA basically with through the web services, but VIENNA also has a standard integration to various external tools such as MailChimp, such as Facebook, such as all sorts of social media through a third-party integration tool called Zapier. So through Zapier, we have access to more than 1,000 applications outside there, and every day new applications come on top of it, because the world around CRM, around customer engagement and customer behavior is changing. So that's one of the crucial integrations that we have achieved, which allows us, of course, to integrate with other systems and be an open system, and of course, based on whatever is coming new in the market, always be ready with that very, very quickly. So that's a quick glance into the CRM system.